Good day, this is E.T. here. On this beautiful fine morning in sunny Australia. There's a little bit of hay fever around, so if I sneeze I do apologise. I would like to talk today about evolution and what it means in regards to politics, and particularly in light of the emergence of what is called the left. And why the left must be eroded from politics before they ban the older white men from voting, because the left will say they're offended that we may vote against them. If there is little or no understanding of evolution, there is little or no insight that allows practical and positive perception of what may be. Cultural evolution is predicated on negative or positive causality or waves of change that cause inference or distance to the prevailing patterns, and from which everything can be resolved. Eventually, reasonably accurate conclusions and forecasts can be created. It is therefore astonishing that regardless the mysteries of evolution and what it means have been fully unravelled, much of society is basically ignorant of the meaning. Amazingly, regardless how much time and effort is wasted in causing massive deficits through the erosion of educational values and attacking of traditional learning, meanings of phenomena that are causes for political movements or policy statements appear to still be a mystery, even to those at the highest level of academia and most certainly dominate media and politics. This means instead of knowledge being spread, ignorance is being spread, regressing culture, which then is reflected in moral values in regard to meaning pertinent to material and spiritual being. By replacing spiritual being with a material being, universities, media and politicians have been at the vanguard of social disruption. The question is, do they know or not know they are involved in this attack on positive potential within the meaning of the survival imperative? If they do not know, then they do not know they do not know. We must forgive them, as we must also begin to attack them with knowledge that gives positive meaning to traditional social mores, education, and individual responsibility and determination to do what is good and right by themselves. Therefore, become a positive particle within society rather than a negative influence on society and their own future of their own children. Pretending they care, that is the people on the left who pretend, like Hillary Clinton, who pretend they care about people when they don't give a damn, without full evolutionary meaning and disclosure about how the waves will affect the patterns, simply increases the negative value. You have to give practical and positive meaning to any policy to create clear understanding of what it actually means to the future. The left avoid this at all costs and attack anyone who can explain it with any means at their disposal. Because the material has almost totally eroded the spiritual, what is actually cared about is not the victim of self-harm, educational, social or parental neglect. All most care about is what material gain can be compounded by being involved and using PC to dominate the conversation. And that is the cause of Australia and America's growing disparity and rising deficits. As a society, we can now claim victimhood for stupid housing and energy policies and get politicians to become part of a cause. Surely if politicians stand for something, they must stand for the people, not energy or housing. A victim will be anyone who pleads to a politician not to reduce their profit, regardless how that is caused to be. Regardless, it may be caused by politically activated negative waves accumulating dissonance and altering the patterns so society regresses rather than progresses. A victim are those who are told they are victims or feed into the whole victim matrix, from financial advisors and real estate agents who own politicians to negatively geared economists. All will plead victim if their compounded material status is threatened, and politics bend to this every time, and no practical economic policy with positive evolutionary meaning is affected, and explains in a nutshell why the right, or liberals in Australia, right in America, are finished as a political force. A victim is also anyone who can be used by the left to create access to fiscal funds, regardless there are no indication any practical and honest use of evolutionary knowledge has ever been applied in any conversation that creates the policy, and explains why the left must be eroded from politics before they ban all the white men from voting, because they may be offended that we may have knowledge. It's our knowledge of all the white men that the left is offended, and they want to turn black people against all the white men like we're all evil, which is utterly evil in itself. Creating hatred against any group is evil, and that's what the left are doing, creating hate, not understanding that everyone is a result of their own nature. Without understanding the positive or negative meaning of evolution, society is driven by the blind and deaf, who speak, to be frank about it, in gibberish that explains nothing. Hillary Clinton couldn't explain anything about the world at all, no more than Donald Trump can. Explaining things in the practical, utilizing the meanings the knowledge of evolution allows, connects directly to the human soul, is banned. It is not politically correct to speak with practical meaning, and is the missing link in the whole free speech debate, which is not actually a debate, but an avoidance of any actual debate on the meaning and practical utility of English and how knowledge is dispersed. They do not teach English in universities anymore, do they? They teach people how to avoid using English, how to avoid explaining things, how to go about being bossy and angry and against the world, which means you're a victim, so you can attack those who you can say, you are the victim of. Well, you might just be the victim of your own negative feelings towards life itself. What you are in life is up to you, and what you make as most important in life is how your life will become, and the outcome of your life is predicated on what you have as most important. If it's only the material, then your life will end up poor. If it's spiritual, you could have a very rich life and at the same time not have much to do with material effects. So it's a quite simple way, and understanding the balance of that may help society understand how to be in balance with nature. Thank you. This is E.T. from beautiful, sunny, remote Australia.